Welcome to Module 5, Video Lesson 2, the power that you have over money. Now, what is the power that you have over money? I want you to grab one of these, and I want you to write this down, because if you just watch, that's good. If you write things down, it commits that to memory. So there are a few things that I want you to write down. Number 1, finance versus wealth. Finance versus wealth. You'll find these in the downloads as well. But right now, write this down. Finance versus wealth. Number 2, as we mentioned in video 1, wants or desires versus needs. Wants or desires versus needs. And now, let's go back when you were just a little tyke. Yeah, that's what I said. When you were just a little person, me too, ages 1 to 7, because ages 1 to 7 is our formative years. And our formative years are the basis or foundation of how we grow financially. There's an excellent video out there I want you to watch as part of your exercise, your homework for this video lesson, and it's right there. Now I have a question for you. What is the difference between finance and wealth? Finance and wealth. Finance, according to Daniel Webster, is the management of large amounts of money, especially by governments or large companies. Now let's step back and take the master shot on this. Finance is financial gain, correct? Not really. Finance has to do with borrowing and lending. Borrowing and lending. There's a little scene from It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart played George Bailey. And in this scene, he was a banker of the building and loan. So finances are loaning money out or managing large amounts of money, especially by governments, is government controlled, or large companies within the government, and how it is managed. How is it managed? It's managed by interest. You get a loan, which is really quick if your credit is good, and they give you this money. And you have instant gratification. Hey, I can afford this car, this house, this business, this brick and mortar, this online business. I can do it right away. You get excited because you're financed and you feel really good about yourself. More often than not, finance, because it is not earned, because it is not appreciated over time, i.e. it's given to you instantly or almost instantly, we don't appreciate it, because we haven't earned the right to. Yeah, I know, this is heavy-duty stuff. If you want to embrace your acting career, your show business, you want some business to show, correct? Now, are you still with me? I hope so. Because now you might be doing this, David, what are you talking about? I don't understand about this finance business. That's how people live, right? Not always the truth. Not always, because I'll tell you why. But before I tell you why, I want you to pause me right now if you have not watched that video that I mentioned by Dr. Lipton. I want you to go back to it. I want you to watch it a few times, because I want you to get it ingrained in your brain, because what he has to say about our formative years is very true. So pause me right now. Did you watch it? Okay. Now, question for you. How did you grow up with money? What did your parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and friends and neighbors and teachers teach you about money? Because we live, we move, we act on our beliefs. Some people think that money is a mystery. Some people think that money is all that matters in life. Some people think money is a curse. There are many different beliefs out there that influence what people do. Because just like acting, a character has a thought. That thought is an idea. And if that idea is mulled over and thought about and focused on long enough, guess what happens? It becomes an action, a movement, an emotional, physical movement into a certain direction. There's a really funny movie out there directed by Mel Brooks. It's called Life Stinks. You have to see it. It is hilarious. It gives a little spin, the two thoughts on the subject between poverty and wealth. It's very funny. Now, I described to you about finance and what it is and what it stands for, and how the government oversees the companies, which charges you interest. Now, if wealth interests you more, I have something to tell you. Let's define wealth, shall we? Now, wealth is relationships. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If I knew Steven Spielberg, and I don't, maybe someday, but if I knew Steven Spielberg, and I gave you two choices, which in life you have the choice of one thing or another, no matter what circumstance circumvents around you. I gave you Steven Spielberg for an hour to sit down with him, pick his brain, and he would tell you everything of his vast years of knowledge, decades of knowledge, to help you and to give you the right direction. Or I can give you $500 right now. What would you choose? What? You would choose $500? Are you serious? No. You would choose Steven Spielberg, of course, because you recognize the value of a relationship. Now, let me ask you something. What kind of relationships do you have in your life? There are personal and there are professional. So there are only two relationships in your life, personal and professional. Let's go with personal, because personal, well, it cuts close to the heart, doesn't it? Okay. How well do you get along with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your acquaintances? Moreover, how do they influence your decision-making about money, about acting, about your passion and the direction of your life, your spiritual, mental, emotional GPS? How do they affect you? Now, this is up to you, so I want you to take a notebook and take one of these pens, okay, your pen, of course, and write down a list of everybody personally that affects you, positive or negative, positive or negative. This takes work. This is why you're here, right? Write all those names down and give them a label. Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Are you doing it? Good. Now, I want you to switch over to professional. And by the way, all of these are in your downloads here with this video, number 2 of Module 5. Write down all your professional connections in the acting industry, in the business industry. Write me down. I'm your coach. And right next to those names, write positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Now, some of those people in your personal life and professional life may change from positive to negative, negative to positive. So you have to keep a conscious run on how they're doing and how they're affecting and influencing your belief system in your life. For example, you ask your single female or male friend about marriage, about your marriage. Now, they really can't give you personal play-by-play information. Why? Because they're single. Don't believe everything everyone says. Don't believe everything Google says. Find the best people in the world for your marriage, for your raising of your children, for your education. People that understand and appreciate what you're going through. Because if you settle, then you're going to follow into that belief. Does that make sense? I'm going to let you pause me, and I want you to write down these two lists. I can wait. Now, you may have noticed this picture behind me. All of you are very well acquainted with it, I am sure. The 5 arenas of life. I very carefully omitted the pinky. Why? Because that's financial. Financial is not based upon money. It's not based upon finance. It's based upon wealth. It's based upon relationships. And what are relationships? Relationships are the following: spiritual, with God and other people; physical, with your health and how you take care of your body; mental, your BS, what you choose to believe, what you choose to educate yourself with; emotional, your energy in motion, which goes back to physical. Now, I want you to take your time now, and I want you to take a look at those lists of people: professional and personal, personal and professional. And I want you to gravitate towards the positive people in your life. Now, this means omitting the negative people in your life. I like to put it this way, and I've learned this in theater, believe it or not. You have a measuring tape, and you take the measuring tape of life and you feed it. You make it longer, okay? And you say to yourself, I got to stay at least 10 feet away from this person. Because the chemistry is wrong, professional or personal. And other people, you take it over here and you measure it. I can keep them as close as 2 feet. I like them. They're positive. Now, of course, you're going to have an emotional shift when it comes to separating the positive people from the negative people in your personal life and professional life. However, you are saving yourself, because wealth is all about relationships. It's not about finance. Finance, we've discussed that before. If you want to have a great career, then remember this video lesson. Finance versus wealth. Wants and desires versus needs. Make your list of personal and professional contacts. These things that I gave you today are tactics. They are tactics in order to reach your goal. And what is your goal? It's to become a great actor, correct? It's to be fulfilled, to fulfill that dream. Because I tell you right now, if you plan it, it's a dream. If you schedule it, it becomes a reality. Now, what is the power that you have over money? We've talked about tactics. We've talked about how to approach things concerning your wealth future, about relationships and what finances are and things. However, the ultimate power is this: free will. That's right, free will. Free will is something that we take for granted because free will goes into what? Habits and rituals and things like that. It goes into a belief because beliefs are what we carry through life. And those beliefs, of course, become habits. Subconscious habits that we aren't aware of because of what we were taught during our lifetime up till today. But if you exercise your free will in a different way, you will get different results. Now, do you remember the video that you were to watch? I hope you watched it. Dr. Bruce Lipton explains how we are programmed at birth. An eye-opening video on the YouTube channel called Be Inspired. Allow me to read just a portion of this because it's fascinating and it makes so much sense. 95% of your life after age 7 will be whatever you are programmed to think or believe. So the solution is you don't have to try and think about what happened. I say just look at your life. The things that come into your life come in because you have a program that supports them. But anything that you struggle with or work hard at and put a lot of effort into to make it happen, you ask yourself this question: why am I working so hard? Inevitably, you have a program that doesn't support that conclusion or result, and you're trying to override that program. So, you don't need a lot of strength and psychology stuff. All you need is to look at your life and say, where am I struggling? Am I struggling spiritually? Am I struggling physically with my body? Am I struggling with my beliefs, my words, my relationships? Am I struggling with my energy level? And that will tell you where you are in your wealth, in your relationships, and your finances. I do hope that you are getting the idea that money, wealth, finance has everything to do with what you believe. What you believe, you act on. The stronger the belief, the more you act on it, the more you gravitate towards this result or that result through your actions. Actors act. Now in video number 3, What's Love Got to Do with It? I will show you how to take your passion and direct it. Do you remember in the 30-day actor challenge? That's right, passion and obsession are influenced by the words we think and most of all by the words we speak. I'm going to give you some money words in video number 3. So I'll see you in the next lesson. Congratulations, you have just completed the power you have over money. Don't forget, it's your free will. And speaking of free will, I will see you in the next video. What's love got to do with it?